Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Danger Zone. Tonight, coming up on the show, Game 2 of the NBA Finals recap. The Boston Celtics take a 2-0 lead on the Dallas Mavericks as they head back to Texas. Coming up on Wednesday night for Game 3, we'll break it all down. Coming up next, also, of course, we're going to take a look at the WNBA, the action over the past weekend, and some heavy NBA trade rumors, along with the Lakers may be on the verge of hiring a new head coach. All of that and more coming up next with me and my partner Floyd B. Coming up next on the Danger Zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
All right, good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday night to everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Danger Zone, where the Boston Celtics just knocked off the Dallas Mavericks 105-98 in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Celtics go up 2-0 on the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, their first Game 2 loss in these playoffs. So the Mavericks come home now in a must-win situation in Game 3 coming up on Wednesday night. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am your host, Ken Moore. To my right is my partner, Floyd B. My brother, happy Sunday to you. How you living?
Happy Sunday to you, brother. Everything good, man. Everything good, man. You know, we weather obstacles that come our way, man, and we got to keep moving, man. I'm just happy to be here with you tonight, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We definitely appreciate everyone chiming in. Before we get started on the show, we definitely want to take care of the housekeeping duties. If you are new to the show, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Please hit that notification bell. We come to you each and every Sunday night, and then we'll also pop in occasionally during the week as well. If you are watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, we definitely want you to hop over to the YouTube version of the show so you can leave your comments. I think you can leave your comments on Facebook as well. You just have to allow StreamYard. You have to give StreamYard permission for you to leave a comment and for you to be recognized. So, my brother, without further ado, let's get into what just happened in Boston tonight. The Celtics had a horrible shooting game, but Dallas could not take advantage. The Mavericks struggled mightily from the free throw line tonight. We'll look at the statistics in just a moment. But Jason Tatum, even though he had a bad shooting game, came up big in other categories, led the team in assists. Drew Holiday had a big game tonight. Kristaps Porzingis had a good first quarter, ended the game a little gimpy. Maybe that calf is acting up a little bit. But all in all, this was a winnable game for the Dallas Mavericks here tonight. But Kyrie Irving, once again, struggling. He has lost 12 consecutive games against his former team, the Boston Celtics. And to me, we talked about it last week, my brother. I said there was 3 keys to this series why I thought Boston would win. One, I thought Kristaps Porzingis would be huge. He was huge in game 1. He was pretty good in game 2. Number 2, they would have to contain Kyrie Irving, which they've done a magnificent job of. And 3, they would have to keep Luka under control as far as his assists. Now, he had some good assists tonight, but not enough. The Celtics still get 2 out of 3 in those categories. And to me, that's the reason why they're up 2-0 in this series.
They let one get away tonight. And at the same time, they were kind of, in my view, and I'm sitting, I'm watching the game, just like everyone else does for the most part. They got exposed for not having another score on the court for the Mavericks, a consistent score. Washington, he's playing better. He's being more than just a 3-point shooter from the corner. I see he's getting to the back because he's pretty long. I think Washington about 6'9", but he's pretty long as well, man. And they problem, hey, listen, man, let's get Derek White his card, man. Let's give him some flowers, man. And if I'm mistaken, he's first team All NBA defense. If I'm not mistaken, Derek White is. We may be able to get a chance to look that up to make sure that's pretty accurate. But man, he's been all in Kyrie. He's been all up in it, man. He's been on Kyrie and he's long. I think Derek White is about 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", somewhere along in there. Pretty long, man. He's pretty crafty, pretty smart, and he's harassing Kyrie. He is making Kyrie work. And right now, as much as flowers that we gave to Kyrie Irving coming into the NBA Finals, we also have to be real critical of his play in the last 2 games. He has not shown up. Luka is Luka. I heard in the pregame show they maybe Tim Hardaway or some of the other guys, they don't have another scorer nowhere on the team that can come out there. And when Kyrie's having these type of games, that next guy step up. The Boston Celtics is not going to win many games with Drew Holiday being their leading scorer. Let's be real about that. And if you
what?
They win a lot of games with Drew Holiday being their leading scorer. No, they're not.
Why?
They're not going to win a lot of games.
Why not?
They're not going to win a lot of games. No.
Why not? They don't need to win before. They only need 2 more.
Overall, in this series, they may could get away with it, but you can't be, not with Drew Holiday being your leading scorer, which means you have the superstar was pretty much in check until down the stretch, and they made they contribute in other areas to get this game to tap this game out. I mean, this is your perfect opportunity. Typical Tatum in game 2 of the series, and Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown. And for you to allow Drew Holiday to be the leading scorer in this game, he had a lot of back doors, man. He had a lot of back doors.
Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason
he had a lot
why.
of back doors. And hey, scheming. I listen. One of the Mavericks' problem also against it's a terrible matchup for the Mavericks. It really is. Listen, the Boston Celtics, for the most part, is small, man. They're small. They play Tatum at the four spot a lot. Yeah,
that's his position. That's his position.
They're small. Boston, they're thin in the ass, man. And I think the T-Wood would have been a bad matchup for the Celtics. I really do. Because of Towns and Gobert. When the jump shot's not falling, Dallas don't have the rim protectors, man, to keep them guys from getting to the baskets. And tonight it showed. Dallas shot, but Boston shot bad from 3-point range tonight, man. I think it was deep in the third quarter before Jason Tatum even had his first three. So they shot bad, but they was able to put the ball on the floor and create plays, man, get to the basket. And that's what sealed the game for them tonight. I still believe that Boston going to give up a game somewhere in this series. They're going to give up a game somewhere in this series, man. But right now, if you ask him, and I told you, let me see after the game. Unfortunately, we've had 2 games now. So now I'm saying, Celtics in 5 now, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Celtics in 5 now. I was forcing them to get 2 games in before we came back on air again. So Celtics in 5, man. Celtics in 5. And I just believe it's just not a good matchup for them. I mean, and a shout out to Lively and Gafford. Those boys, playing. They are role players and they're playing. But when they're not an offensive threat, is one. And when you can't stop penetration, you can't close in at the rim, it's a lose situation. You're not going to win. You're not going to win many ball games like that. But Derek White checking Kyrie Irving is the key to this 2-0 lead that the Celtics have. Kyrie can't get off, man. And I was wishing and hoping that Kyrie, stand out loud in game 2. I was thinking that this is the game that the Mavericks have to get. They didn't get it. But again, the Celtics going to surrender a game somewhere down the line. You and I both know that. So I'm saying
it won't be a sweep. It won't be a sweep. No, it won't
Celtics.
I'd be surprised if it'd be a sweep. Yeah. So here's my thing. So we talked about last week, in addition to the 3 keys that I had. Now, the one edge that we gave the Mavericks, both of us gave the Mavericks, was the coaching, and we gave Jason Kidd the edge over Joe Mazzulla. That has not transpired so far. Joe Mazzulla has thoroughly outcoached Jason Kidd in the first 2 games of this series. I'm going to bring up a couple of points. The first one is the insertion of Maxi Kleber into a role that is too big for him right now. Maxi Kleber has played 34 minutes over the first 2 games of this series, 16 minutes in game 1, 18 minutes in game 1, 16 minutes tonight. He has 2 points. He has 2 points in 34 minutes. He is shooting. He missed 2 wide open threes tonight. He's only taken 5 shots. Why is Maxi Kleber in the game? He's in the game to stretch the defense, to pull Horford and Porzingis or Jason Tatum, pull those guys out, and he's had wide open looks that he's missed, that he hasn't taken. He was hurt early in the playoffs. He missed a lot of time in the Western Conference playoffs. He got in a game or 2, I believe, at the end of the Minnesota series, but this moment is too big for Maxi Kleber. Now, maybe he'll play better at home with the home crowd behind him. They say role players, they play better at home, but he has been awful the first 2 games. Daniel Gafford, he was actually pretty good tonight. He was good tonight. They posted him up about 4 or 5 times in the second half against Jason Tatum, and he was able to take advantage of his size and strength to get inside. He had 13 points, 9 rebounds. He was 6 of 9 from the field. So Daniel Gafford had a pretty good game. Derek Lively, the series has been too big for him. And this is a bad matchup for him because he doesn't have the offensive game. He had 1 dunk tonight. He had 2.7 rebounds. Let me see what he did in the first game. First game, he only had 2 points. So Derek Lively, 4 points in 2 games. Maxi Kleber, 2 points in 2 games. You are not going to win that way. And then you want to go to Kyrie Irving. Oh my God, he has been. It's been a nightmare for him. He had 16 points tonight. They need 30 from him. He was 7 of 18 from the field, shot 39% tonight. Let's take a look at what he did in game 1. Game 1, he only had 12 points, shot 32% from the field, 6 of 19. So he is 13 of 37 in this series. And to your point, Derek White, Drew Holiday, they can switch. They can put Jaylen Brown on him. If they run a pick, they can put Jason Tatum on him. This is not a series where I don't think Kyrie Irving is going to be able to get off, because every shot he takes is a difficult shot. I don't remember one clean look that Kyrie Irving had tonight. He had a couple of good looks in game 1 and he missed. So in my opinion, as you mentioned, I don't know if it's a bad matchup. I just think that Boston is a much deeper team, because outside of Luka and Kyrie, there's not a third guy on Dallas that's shooting the ball well. They've taken away the corner threes. Those corner threes that they were hitting against Minnesota, they are non-existent. All their 3-point shots, the Dallas Mavericks, they're coming from the wings or they're coming from the top of the key. And all those guys, P.J. Washington, Derrick Jones, Maxi Kleber, they all shoot a very poor percentage from the top. So Joe Mazzulla, all credit to him. All credit to him in this series. He's coaching his ass off.
I hear you, big bro. I strongly disagree. I don't believe he's out coaching Jason Kidd. What I do believe is Kidd has gotten the max out of his roster and what he has. They're overmatched. I mean, talent-wise, they're overmatched. Role players are not scorers; they're just that, role players. I got to point this out too. As great as Luka is and has been, Luka is the problem right now with the Mavericks. Outside of this matchup thing, they can't score. Here's the deal. Luka don't like to push the ball. He's an old school guy. He reminds me of, you remember Tom Henderson used to be the point guard for the Washington Bullets, and then we got Tom Henderson used to piss me off so much how he brought the ball down the court, man. He had high hinds. His butt was kind of high, and he was not going to push the ball down the court. And which later on, it opened the door for guys like Allen Lever to come on the team who like to push the ball and speed the pace up. That's kind of how Luka remind me of. He doesn't like to push the ball up the court, a la James Harden as well. Harden, he's not a big fast guy. He likes to walk the ball up the court. And by Luka walking the ball up the court, you align the Celtics defensive setup. And as small as the Celtics are, they are great defenders individually and weak side help. So Luka's style of play kind of fits right into what the Celtics defense is first and foremost, and that's half court defense. So right now, I'm not going to give the coach of the Celtics. I'm not going to put him that high. I'm hey, he's up 2-0 in the series. We can't ignore that. But I'm not going to say out coaching Jay Kidd on this. I just think Jay Kidd got all he could out the roster that he has, man.
Well, I think you make some good points with Luka. You made a good point, and then I think not so good of a point. So your good point is, yes, Luka walks the ball up the court. He's not a fast guy. I mean, he's a slow-moving player, right? So, I mean, that's his style, and that's Dallas' style, which is a contrast to Indiana, who gave Boston a lot of problems in the Eastern Conference Finals, because Tyrese Halliburton and those guys, TJ McConnell, they like to push. They like to run. They like to go baseline to baseline, 94 feet, run and gun, like Nolan Richardson's old 40 minutes of hell with Arkansas back in the day. So Indiana likes to run, and that's what gave Boston problems in that series. So Luka being a slower player, and with Kyrie Irving not being able to get off, but their whole team is slow. They really don't have a lot of fast guys. Derrick Jones can get up and down the court. PJ can get up and down the court somewhat. But when you look at those other guys, Lively, when he's in the game, can run the court well, but Gafford is not a fast guy.
Gafford can get up and down the court too as well, big bro. Again, you right on everything, but it's Luka. They could get up the court.
Jalen play to his strength. You gotta play to Luka's strength. Luka is never gonna be,
and that's where they are right now. Yes, that's where they are right now. He's never
gonna be that guy.
That's where they are right now. That's where they are right now. Notice they 2 years ago when they made the run and got to the Western Conference Finals, that was Jalen Brunson. Because Luka was hurt. That was Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson he's gonna run, he's gonna move. Hardaway, them guys was on that team. Tim Hardaway, I think, is still one of the leftover from that squad. They kind of run and gun. They got up and down the court.
You just mentioned the name Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of surprised with the Maverick struggles that he hasn't seen much playing time in this series so far. I'm going to pull up his numbers. I don't think he played tonight. I don't remember seeing him in the ball game tonight. No, Tim Hardaway did not play tonight. Let me see if he played. I think he did play a little bit in game one.
Yeah, I seen him in game one.
Game one, he only played 7 minutes. He didn't score. He was 0 of 2 from the field. He had 1 steal, no rebounds, no assists in 7 minutes. He hasn't scored a point. Tim Hardaway, since the Oklahoma City series. He didn't score at all. He only played in 2 games against Minnesota. So he is clearly out of the rotation.
Yeah, he been out. He been out the rotation.
And that may be a guy that you may have to turn to, man, because he is a guy, if he gets hot, he can fill it up. He can give you some athleticism on the wings that you're not getting from Derrick Jones and those guys right now. Hardy didn't hardly play tonight. I just don't like Jason Kidd's rotations, man. It's just been Hardy only played 1 minute tonight. I mean, you got Dante Exum playing 10 minutes. Green played 13 minutes. He only gave you 4 points. I mean, you're not getting any production from anybody else except Luka.
It's kind of reflecting on what I said. I mean, I think he's gotten everything out. He got the max out of this squad, man, and it's just a terrible matchup. Those guys are not other than Hardaway Jr. Those guys that we named were not not scorers. You know, they're role players. They scrappy players. You know, they of course they're in the NBA, so they definitely capable of getting you a basket here or there. But again, this is where the Mavericks run into a bad matchup. But not having a third, not having more scores around, not necessarily shooters, but scores around, man. Because with Kyrie struggling the way he is, someone else has to step up, you know, and no one has, and now they're in jeopardy again. The Celtics gonna give a game away. They do that all the time, you know. Mm-hmm. But I'm picking them in 5, you know. But I'm not just putting a lot of this on Jay Kidd. I just think he's gotten all he can, and the guys that's getting the opportunity, they're just not coming through for him right now, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Boston, and by the way, you know, as I typically do, with Dallas, I got to put them in the danger zone because they are the definition of the danger zone right now, going home down 0-2.
You're in the danger zone.
So they are definitely in the danger zone, and the reason why I give Joe Mazzulla so much credit, and this is a product of all the time off in between the conference finals and the first game of the NBA finals. And then you had 3 more games off between games 1 and 2, and now you got 3 more days off between games 2 and 3. So I think that they've made a conscious effort to take away the lobs from Gafford and Lively and Derrick Jones. Derrick Jones did get 1 lob tonight, and I think Lively got 1 dunk off a double team. So they got 2 dunks tonight. But they've totally taken that part out of the Mavericks offense. And they, as I mentioned earlier, they've taken away those corner 3-point shots. They just said, we're not going to give you any wide open looks from the 3-point range. Luka, you can get all you want in the mid-range. You can hit that little step back, hop away 3. You can get your 30 points a night, but we're not going to let these other guys get off. And I don't really think it's I wouldn't say a bad matchup. I think Boston is just really good. And I think that as the media has really undersold how good this Boston Celtic team is, this team is really close. They're not there, but they are close to that Golden State Warrior team with Kevin Durant. Because when a Derek White is your 4th best player and a Kristaps Porzingis is maybe your 5th best player, and you got Drew Holiday can be your 3rd, 4th, 5th best player on any night, those guys can really be 2s and 3s on other ball clubs in the NBA. And I think their defense, they are just a very deep team. And I got to give Brad Stevens a lot of credit, because when he went out and got Drew Holiday, which they didn't plan on doing, Milwaukee has to be kicking themselves right now for letting Drew Holiday out that door to go get Damian Lillard. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's going in the danger zone next. He's going in the danger zone because he okayed bringing Damian Lillard in and getting rid of a champion who helped you win your first championship in Drew Holiday. So Giannis, he going in the danger zone next.
You ain't got to wait to put his ass in there, because he has now transcended into a superstar, a bona fide superstar in this league. He's now talking. He's now verbal. He's been very vocal and verbal to the media from day one, and now he got his flowers when they were winning and everything was well, and now he has to take his spot in the danger zone when things are going bad for the Milwaukee Bucks right now as we speak. So I'm with you. He can go in the danger zone. Let me hear him. Let me rock to it. Let me lean with it. Rock with it.
Punk, you're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
Yeah, because listen, I really think the Milwaukee Bucks, and again, we kind of shine away from the NBA Finals, but hey, this is National Basketball Association, bro. Hey, my boy, Peaceful Coyote, shout out to him, man. He said he was going to tune in tonight, man. The show, appreciate you, man. Share it with your friends, Coyote. That's my boy, Cool. Share it with your friends, and let's get this thing crunk up, man. I did promise him later on in this segment we was going to touch bases somewhere in the NFL with the Titans and the Texans, and we're going to do our best to accommodate him and him for joining in on us tonight, my brother.
No doubt,
but again,
no
yes, listen. I truly believe that a happy Dame Lillard can make it work in Milwaukee. A happy Damian Lillard, but
that's the key word is happy. Happy is the word.
Yes, and he's not. And you were absolutely right on the previous episode that we had here that he just didn't play with that like he will in Portland. Even when Portland was losing, you knew what you was getting every night from Damian Lillard. Outside of him being a great player, you was gonna get a happy, great player. So and that means a lot, man. It means a lot in the NBA, man. It means a lot. It means a lot in any profession that you're in. To be absolutely honest with you, gotta be happy with what you're doing for a living. Am I right, bro?
No doubt, no doubt. You perform better
Yes.
You're happy at your job.
Yes. The Milwaukee Bucks problem was they let their bench go. Grayson Allen. They missed Grayson Allen last season. They let the bench go. So and if they bring Doc Rivers back this year, man, Doc Rivers is a whole different topic that we could get into, man. To me, he needs to be in the danger zone, but we're not going to do that now because, granted, he did not have a whole season, so he's going to get all it. Doc Rivers seemed to get a pass on everything right now. I'm with JJ Redick with that when he leaned in on Doc, man. I've always said this, and I'm saying it again. Doc Rivers, one of the most overrated NBA coaches I've seen. He one of the most overrated NBA coaches I've seen, bro. And I'm not saying. I mean, it hurts me because I'm always for the African American getting his spot and coaching and being a GM and ownership and all that stuff in professional sports, man. But we have to always be honest with ourselves and our viewers. And Doc Rivers is overrated. And this is Doc Rivers' last opportunity to be a head coach in the NBA. I think this is it. I think this is it for him.
It better be.
So again, letting Drew go. The Celtics. Hey, man, they had to move off of Marcus Smart. They had to. And Bogan, they got him from Indiana, and he wasn't happy. So the Celtics got that out of there and got them a point guard, an all-pro, a winner, and Drew for to help them get this championship title, man. So, shout out again to the Celtics like you gave them their flowers. But I'm not ready to say, hey, man, they're close to this Golden State team, whereas that, any given night somebody else can win a game for you or have that hot hand. Man, I think
it's proven, bro. I think it's proven. Porzingis was the X factor in game one. Drew Holiday was the X factor tonight. Jaylen Brown has been the model of consistency, even though Jason Tatum hasn't shot the ball well. I don't know what's wrong with him with the layups, man. That dude misses so many layups. My God.
He missed
like
a lot
tonight,
too much
English on the ball or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, I seen the first one he missed. I said, dang, it's too much English. I said, he tried to gangster roll that. He was back at Tidwell Park on that one right there. He was trying to gangster roll that one, man. So I'm with you on that, man. I you know what? I still think the moments are still big to Jason Tatum. He may not admit it. I think the moments are big too. I think it's in general get the flow, and I think he may run into a little anxiety attack here or there on the court. But I think the moments get to Jason Tatum, man. Whereas that, like you say, man, he missed a lot of layups, man. He just putting too much English on it, man.
Yeah.
Too much. So, us being former ball players in high school and still play a pickup game here or there if you can catch me right. Hey, man, we know when it's too much English on there. We know when you shoot ball. We know when you tense stuff. We know enough about it, man. We played enough about it to get into that, man. But again, and we kind of seen what is inconsistent from the rest of the Dallas Mavericks, man. And in the off season, man, they're gonna have to do something to gain to get more scoring, man. And to see if they need help alongside Kyrie and Luka, man. Florida, I think they're going to tie the series up. Dallas will make a comeback. See, that's a faithful guy right there, man. He's a Texas guy. He loves Texas. He don't like the Cowboys neither, but he's very high on everybody else in the state of Texas, man. They got a chance, Cole. They got a chance. They of course they have a chance. They got Luka. And Kyrie for that matter in the back. So yeah, they got a chance. But let's be real. They don't win game 3. We ain't talking about them anymore after that. They got to win game 3 to even generate conversation, for the rest of the series. Do you agree with that, my brother?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Game 3 is do or die. No team has ever come back from an 0-3 deficit And, you know, when you look at some of these numbers for Dallas, the free throws, man. I mean, the free throws were bad against Minnesota. They were able to avoid it. Tonight, 16 of 24. They missed 8 free throws. Boston was damn near perfect, 19 of 20. Both teams were horrible from the three-point line. Boston shot 25%. Dallas shot 23%. Again, they're not getting those wide open threes like they were getting against Minnesota. Rebounding was pretty even, 43 to 41. Dallas had the edge there. Assists, again, Boston 29 assists. Those backdoor cuts. Jason Tatum had 11 assists himself. Luka had 11 assists for the Mavericks, but they only had 21 assists as a team. Another key stat, Dallas with 15 turnovers, Boston with only 10 turnovers. So that's another big statistic there. So, yeah, man, Dallas, they make their free throws. It's a different ball game. They make their free throws. I'm not saying they win the game, but I'm saying it's a different game down the stretch. You got more pressure.
Definitely, man. You got to be consistent at the charity line, man. You know, especially when you basically coming into this series as a two-man machine with your backcourt. Listen, man, we need 30 from Kyrie. Kyrie has to put up. Kyrie, come get him right quick. Stay right there, man. Stay right there. Go get you something to drink. You good? Here she comes.
I'm let you handle that for a minute.
Yeah, no, he all right. He wanted to get on the camera, man.
Right.
He wanted to get on the camera, man.
Hey, go put him on, man.
He wanted to get in the camera, man.
Man. Put him on live.
He wanted to get in the camera, man. He okay, man. But again, Ken, I mean, they have to win game 3 for us to even continue to talk about them or giving them any type of hope in this series. Nobody's picking them again. I got them in 5 right now. But I want to run something across you right now. I was looking at 30 for 30 today. And they had the Celtics and the Lakers. You know, they went through the whole thing. I'm quite sure you've seen it 1,000 times like I've seen it 1,000 times. Larry Bird is very, very underappreciated. We don't appreciate Larry Bird enough, man. They're talking the all-time great Skin. And for some reason, I like that setup right there. I like the screen right here, big bro. I like that setup here. Way to do it. Shout out to my host, y'all. He got that screen fixed. He got his boy looking real sharp in now.
Mm-hmm.
But do you believe that Larry Bird gets the flower that he so truly deserved, man?
I have Larry Bird. Obviously, I think I have him number 6 all time in my top 10. I think I have him 6 or 7. I'm not sure that he does because people don't talk about him a lot because, you know, he's not on TV like Shaq and Magic and Barkley and those guys. So you forget about Larry Bird. You forget about Karl Malone. You forget about John Stockton. You forget about how great those guys were because they're no longer in the public eye. They've taken a back seat. They're not on social media. You know, they're not in the media doing all of those things. Akeem Olajuwon, you know, those guys, Moses Malone, God rest his soul.
God bless his soul, Big Mo.
Those guys don't get talked about. But, you know, it's kind of almost like out of sight, out of mind, you know. And you don't want something tragic to happen, like he passed away, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to give him his flowers at that point, right?
A la Bill Walton.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say you're right in that he doesn't get his flowers. that he should get. But I think, when people talk about the top 10, I think Larry Bird is firmly in the top 10, if not the top 5 all time.
Man, I'm with you on that, and I'm just looking at saying, man, this Larry Bird does not get the voices, for that matter, the recognition that he so rightfully deserved, man. The man was not only a great shooter, but how he passed the ball, Ken. I mean, he is, to me, an all-time great and a top 10. To me, I'm with you on that. A top 10 is not very few that I will put in front of Larry Bird. And that is including Akeem Olajuwon and Moses Malone.
No, I got him in front of Olajuwon and Moses Malone.
And we as fans know that Moses Malone do not get nowhere near the credit that he should get as being a dominant 6'10" center, 3 times league MVP, 4-time defensive player of the year. It was 6 times 17 all first team defensive player. Mo Malone do not get the credit that he deserved. When we're talking about centers, all-time great centers, he doesn't get the flowers, man.
No,
and it's sad. It's sad, Ken, because we grew up and we watched these guys play. Mm-hmm. Not just being Rocket fans that me and you, that's one thing we have in common, brother. We are down-hard Rocket fans. But people don't realize how Moses Malone took a 40-42 Rocket team to the NBA Finals and took them 6 games with the Boston Celtics. No one talks about that. No one. Even the 83 championship that the Philadelphia Sixers got by acquiring Moses Malone and swept the Lakers in the finals don't get his flowers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dominated Kareem in 1981 with the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals.
Beat him in a 3-game series.
2 out of 3. And then dominated him in 83 in that series when they went 4-5-4.
When they swept the Lakers that year. They swept them. They swept them. Yeah. But it goes back to me and why I constantly put the NBA in the Hall of in our Hall of Fame danger zone. They need to be in our Hall of Fame danger zone because it's a doggone shame that the NBA don't have their own Hall of Fame. It's just so disrespectful, man. It is so disrespectful for me to watch guys like Yao Ming and Rap Sampson be inducted into Basketball Hall of Fame. But it's not just because it's not just the NBA. They were great collegiate players, and that's where they need to be at. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't be in the same Hall of Fame as Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Moses Malone and Akeem Olajuwon and Magic Johnson and they should not be in the same hall that these guys are in.
I agree with you.
And it irks me, man. It irks me to see that when you're having the Basketball Hall of Fame and here you got these guys. Well, what the hell have I love me some Jamal Wilkes. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Jamal Wilkes. But he's not a Hall of Famer. He wasn't a Hall of Famer.
He had a Hall of Fame movie though. Cornbread
and me. Cornbread and me.
Hey, kids, if you haven't seen Cornbread Earl and Me, go YouTube it or find it on, whatever streaming platform. I don't know where it is. I don't know where you can find it, but Cornbread Earl and Me, man, that is a classic movie. Talk about Ray Allen and Jesus Shuttlesworth and all the NBA guys that have had movies, but Cornbread Earl and Me, man, we saw that movie, I think, in middle school,
I can't to be honest. I might have been. We might have been in elementary school. We might have been in elementary school.
I think you were probably in elementary school because you're a year or two younger than me.
No,
I think I was.
I'm the same age as you.
You're 86, right? 87?
85.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought you was 86.
85. 85.
All right.
I mean,
I
that's
think it was in 6th grade. I want to say I started at Northwood.
Now,
I'm
almost sure I saw Cornbread and Me right around along when I was watching Roots. It's somewhere along there. I know I was in elementary school then. I was at Hilliard then. It was somewhere along in there, man. But you may be right. We may have been in middle school then. But it was a great movie. It was the second movie that ever made me cry. The first movie that made me cry was Cooley High.
Okay.
You know, but again, when you look at guys like that, and you want, listen, Chris Mullin, to you, is he an NBA Hall of Famer?
Probably not.
No, he's not.
Because for me,
no.
When you have to hesitate and think about it, that means you're not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, right. Nah, here's one that's probably gonna really get you. What about Reggie Miller? Is Reggie Miller an NBA Hall of Famer?
I think so. Yeah.
So these are the topics in conversation, man, that I like to have with us, man. And eventually sometime as it go on, like you had your guys that came over to the show, man. But I really want us at some point, Ken, to really just have what we call a round table. You know, I love that setting there, the round table, man. And we go at it because it's so many topics right now that's hot, and it's not really. And this is the time of the year, man, because we about 35 days from mandatory camp, and we finna get into probably one of the most anticipated NFL seasons that we have seen in a while. But our ability to have this platform to talk about subjects, man, that we wouldn't normally talk about, that we would normally give the attention.
Oh, yeah, we're getting into that off season, so we can get into that, who's in, who's out, who's in your top 10, who's in your top 20.
There we go.
All that good stuff, man, because, the NBA, it may be done by Friday or next Monday. If it goes 5 next Monday, they're stretching this thing out, man, so far, man. It's really taking the winds out of the sails, man, for me. Hell, I started watching the game late tonight, so it's just too many days in between games, man.
I mean, they should go back, it needs to be like, it gotta be. I mean, if you want to take 2 days off, I can give you that, but 3 days is too long, man.
Yeah,
it's just definitely too long, man. But again, we were touching base on the NBA. There was some rumors out there, Ken, that had us.
Your boy say Reggie definitely on his list, Hall of Famer. Reggie Miller.
Shout out, cool. I feel you. I know you love you some Reggie, man. Reggie, my guy too, man. But he right now he's on the bubble with me. If I was doing an NBA Hall of Fame, Reggie's right there on the bubble with me right now. But we'll talk more about Reggie as the platform allows to, man. But right now, Ken, we have to accept that. The NBA, they don't want to ruffle no feathers. The basketball is called the Basketball Shrine Hall of Fame. It has so many other sponsors and backdoor donators and everything. They got to keep it like this. I wish somebody of a bigger statue will make this come true, man. I hope to see that in our lifespan, that the NBA develop their own Hall of Fame, and then we can really have some discussion about some of the all-time greats, man. But up until that point there, man, you know, you got guys like, I mean, listen, Tracy McGrady, man. You know, I love him. But if I had an NBA Hall of Fame, he wouldn't be in the NBA Hall of Fame. He would.
He's not in the Hall of Fame, is he? I don't think Tracy's in the Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
I have to look and see. I'm almost sure, though. You know, I'm almost sure. I mean, and even when you look at Vince Carter, did Vince Carter have an NBA Hall of Fame career? To me, no, he did. Not to me.
Vince is borderline.
Yes.
I'd have to look at his stats.
At best.
Compare.
At best, he's borderline.
Yeah, he's definitely borderline.
So these are discussions, man, that a lot of people hunger for, but nobody wants to go down that road. I'm not saying it's a bad road to go down. It's why I have so much respect for the NFL Hall of Fame, man. I have a lot of respect for the NFL Hall of Fame. And believe it or not, us not following Major League Baseball like we once did, especially over the past season with the Astros struggling right now, I have a lot of respect for the Baseball Hall of Fame too. Other than when it comes to Pete Rose and Barry Bonds, all them guys, why they're not in there and what they're doing with that. But for the most part, everyone that's in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame that I'm fully aware of deserve to be there. There's no question, there's no doubt in my mind. And I'm just waiting and hope we be here to see Pete Rose and Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and those guys get into the Hall of Fame, man. I don't think that Sammy Sosa nor Mark McGwire had baseball Hall of Fame careers. I think they had moments.
No.
But I don't think either one of those guys were Hall of Famers anyway. So keeping them out and not voting them, it doesn't move me anyway. Because I never thought either one of them had Hall of Fame career. But when we talking about Pete Rose, who at one time all-time hit leader, at one time, he was top of the line there, guy who moved around from position to position, from third base to first base. We knew him in Cincinnati Reds as the Big Red Machine. He was a third baseman. And as soon as he went to the Phillies, he became a third baseman and won championship series there. So these guys' resumes are strong enough for them to put them in there. It's time to put the petty stuff aside, man. Let these guys take their place, man.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever gonna get in there, man. Roger or Barry. I don't think Pete definitely not. So I don't think Roger or Barry will ever get in there, unfortunately for them. So you know, it kind of is what it is at that point, man. Man, let's pivot back to the NBA, man. The other big news that kind of broke this weekend was Danny Hurley from UConn, back-to-back national champion, possibly going to the Lakers. He's expected to make his decision tomorrow. He was in Los Angeles this weekend meeting with, Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, this according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, and he's expected to make his decision tomorrow. If you were Bobby Hurley, or is it Danny Hurley? I get them confused. I get the Dan and the son confused.
It's Dan.
Dan Hurley. If you were Dan Hurley, what would you do? Would you take this Laker job, or would you go back to UConn and try to get a three-peat?
I would stay where I'm at. Because shout out again to my boy Cool. He said T-Mac was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017. Shout out to you. Thank you for providing the information, big homie. I wouldn't take it. And the reason I wouldn't take the job is this right here. The team is still built. I don't care what they say, still built around LeBron James. And I'm giving LeBron James 2 more seasons. 2. That's all I'm giving him. And I think LeBron will start thinking about walking out the door. So when your star player is out the door, and here I am inheriting this team, and granted Anthony Davis will be there or should be there, but how the structure of that team would be from that point, from the point of him taking the head coaching job. I just would stay where I'm familiar at, where I got momentum at, where I got flexibility at, and I continue to build my legacy in the collegiate rank. History says that collegiate coaches I seen a poll on Colin the other day, and they had all these guys that had came in the NBA: Leonard Hamilton, Tim Floyd, Rick Pitino, John Calipari, all these guys who have taken a shot at the NBA had all pretty much had failed. Brad Stevens he was one of the few who had success coming from the collegiate ranks to the NBA, but it's not the number and percentage says it's not likely. They're not likely to succeed. And you taking on the Los Angeles Lakers job again, where there's no certainty on when and how long you have LeBron, and with the team not really. They say all the right things about the offense is going through Anthony Davis, but let's be real about it. When LeBron is on the court, everything starts and ends with LeBron James. So I wouldn't take it. I would stay where I'm working. I like to hear what you have to say. Would you take that job, Ken?
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Thank you. This type of decision, I would heavily lean on my wife.
That's what he doing.
I would heavily lean on my wife, bro, because she's a Jersey girl, so they're used to the East Coast lifestyle. California is completely different. So I would really kind of leave it up to her. Babe, do you want to move to California? We're in our 50s now. Do we want to enjoy, the sunshine and the palm trees and the mountains and the
earthquake and the earthquakes
and all this good stuff? And do we want to deal with the air quality and the traffic and living in the big city and dealing with all of that, right? So that's a huge life move, going from Connecticut to Los Angeles, California. So now, taking that out of it, when you look at the basketball side of it, the Lakers over the last decade plus have been a very dysfunctional organization. They've had about 5 or 6 coaches in the last 12 years, right? They change coaches like teams change trainers. You know what I'm saying?
You got to remember who was running it too. The son was running, and he wasn't doing a great job of it. Either.
Well, that's fine, but even Jeannie Buss, she been cycling through coaches too. Frank Vogel, Darvin Ham. Now she finna have her third or fourth coach. So it's been all of them. The whole organization has just been dysfunctional. So I would have concerns going there. It would have to be a hell of a contract. I'm not taking a 3-4. I'm not even taking a 5-year deal. This is going to have to be a life-changing contract. We're talking about $100 million guaranteed for me to move my family from Connecticut to California. And I got to have control. I'm not babying LeBron. I'm not babying Anthony Davis. I know LeBron's only there for another year or two. Respect the hell out of him if I'm coming in as the coach, but I'm coming in to be the coach. And like most people have said, this may be a long-term play for after LeBron is gone. We're not looking to get a coach to come in and try to win a championship next year. If it happens, it happens. So I would approach it with cause. You got a great thing there going on at UConn. And look, the money is the money. Right at the end of the day, the money talks, and he may be using it as a leverage to get more money from Connecticut, right, to stay. So, if I'm him, if I'm comfortable where I am, I would probably stay. But I can definitely understand because I've spent a lot of summers in California, and it's very, very beautiful. So I can definitely understand if you want to move your family and the wife is okay with it and you want to take on that new challenge and that new opportunity. And as a friend of mine, my boy Nails pointed out to me, even if it goes to LA and fail, he can always go back and get him a hell of a college job at any time.
let's eliminate, you know, um, you know, the wife being a part of the decision. Let's eliminate all that.
Mm-hmm.
If Ken Moore was Dan Hurley, would you take the Lakers job?
Man. I'd probably stay at UConn. Because at UConn, I can get into that legendary category with Krzyzewski and Dean Smith and
Roy Williams.
I can get into that type of
Ron Wooten.
I can get into that conversation. I can get into that legacy conversation. I'm not going to get into that legacy conversation as a Lakers coach.
No, you won't.
I'm going to just be a footnote.
He could come in there.
You know, are you going to be Pat Riley or Phil Jackson?
No. To me, he take the head coaching job there, man. I mean, you won't really know what type of coach he really is and how he really is handling NBA players until maybe the third year of the contract, because he's gonna have too much of LeBron. You're never gonna know how that, because you're gonna have too much of LeBron. So he's not. It's gonna take the third. That's why, like you say, it gotta be a mega contract, not just in dollars and cents, but in years as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he got to have an opportunity to flip this team. He has to be able to get a GM in there, because Pelinka will more than likely be out the door as well.
I don't know about that.
All right. Yeah.
He should be.
He should. Yeah.
He should be.
He should be.
But that's Kobe's guy.
He should be.
And you know how Jeannie loved Kobe.
But listen,
hell, they got rid of Magic Johnson left because of Rob Pelinka.
Because of Rob Pelinka. Now, Pelinka season before last, when they made them little trades and they got to the Western Conference Finals, man. Hey, man, you know, I don't want, you want to give people their props where it's due. He made those moves. He managed to get rid of Westbrook, and the Westbrook catastrophe, to me, all lies in the lap of LeBron James, because he just imagined having Russell on the team with him running up and down the doggone court. He signed off on that, so he had to live with that. And Pelinka got rid of that contract, and they made it to the West Conference Final. But what they did was they started drinking their own Kool-Aid. You're really not that good. You got there, yes, you did, but you're really not that good. You had a run. And what I always say, man, you got to get better. You can't stay packed. You got to get better. So, we both agree that I wouldn't take the job. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take the job.
I wouldn't do it. Now, let's assume he does take the job. LeBron James is a free agent. Would he and should he consider going back to Cleveland to finish his career? There was a report today that if JJ Redick doesn't get the Laker job, that he may be in line for the Cavalier job, which is still open because they fired Bickerstaff. Could you see? Actually, let me rephrase that. Would you, if you're LeBron James, you got Bobby Hurley, a rookie college head coach. If the Cavs say, Dan Gilbert, he'll do anything to get LeBron back. We'll draft Bronny, Will sign JJ Redick to be the coach. Coming home. I'm coming home. Would you be go back home to finish it out? You got a hell of a team. You got Donovan Mitchell. You got Jared Allen. You got Evan Mobley. You got Darius Garland. They don't have a small forward. You can slide right in. Now, you got to take a hell of a pay cut. You're not getting
He's not doing that. He went public. He been public about that. He don't take pay cuts.
But he did say he would take a pay cut to play with his son. He did say that.
Yeah.
He may have been lying, but he did say it.
But here, listen. He ain't going back to Cleveland. LeBron went back to Cleveland because he and I respect that part about LeBron James. You know, I'm not a LeBron fan. I respect greatness and give greatness they do. But I've never been a fan of his. I'm not a fan of LeBron. But I really believe that he wanted to go back there to win. Really, I felt like he had a mission. It was something that he could have done and should have done, and he have to do. And his journey in Miami gave him the authority and kind of the power that he has now since leaving Miami, because on the Miami Heat team, he had no power. It was one of the reasons he left, Ken. Be honest with it. One of the reasons he left because Pat Riley rules. You know, there's no LeBron James rule. These are Pat Riley rules. So him going back home was helping him finish the mission, and he actually getting what he want done too. Letting his entourage have access at traveling and being where he is. And Pat didn't like that, and Pat wasn't having that. So that was one of the reasons he's left. You know, because he couldn't get that cachet speak in Miami. You know, so going back home, he got that. He stumbled on a championship. The journey and the story was over with, and I think that part of his career, I don't think he's back doing that. Now, again, when he talking about playing for his son, with his son, you know, then anything can occur. Then it can, you know, it's open for anything because he wants that. So badly now in the last few years of his in his playing time, he wants that real bad. So I wouldn't rule out that being the reason or the issue that he goes to any team for that matter, you know, because he wants to play with his son. Now I don't know if his son is too, because he's been on record and saying he wants his own path. He want to make his own way. I don't know if that is a big thing for him to do. For Bronny, I don't know if that's very important on Bronny's bucket list. But it definitely is on his dad list. So, again, you made great point, bro. You know, Bronny can be the difference in where he plays. And if Bronny is somehow drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron would definitely think about that for sure. He'll put his difference with Dan Gilbert aside for that to be accomplished. I really think he would. But, again, that relies solely on where Bronny's going to be drafted or if he even drafted at all.
Right. I mean, I think if I was LeBron, I couldn't think of a better way to cap off your career than returning to Cleveland. And look, man, the East is wide open. I mean, you saw how Boston ran through it. Philly's always going to have an issue with Embiid staying healthy. Now, they got a lot of cap room. You know, it's been talk of them going after, you know, Paul George or Jimmy Butler or, you know, a big star, you know, Daryl Morey. He likes to go big game hunting. We know that from his time here in Houston. So you expect them to add a big piece. Milwaukee, you know, they got to figure out what to do with Dame. Giannis has to get healthy. Indiana is an up-and-coming team. We saw how dangerous they can be with their style of play. They're only going to get better next year. Orlando Magic, the team that you were high on coming into the playoffs, they're only going to get better. So, but I think the East, the Knicks, of course, we can't omit them. But I think if you drop a LeBron James into that Cleveland situation, now, again, the coaching situation is kind of a mess. the front office, it's not a well-run organization, but hell, the Lakers aren't a well-run organization. So, I would strongly consider it if I was LeBron. You go, what would it do for his legacy if he was to go back to Cleveland and just say they got to an NBA Finals, not even win it, but they got back to an NBA Finals next year with him as the catalyst? Does that elevate him even more so than where he is right now? Because most people have him number 2 behind MJ. Some people have him number 3 behind MJ and Kareem. Some people have him number 1. How much more would it enhance his legacy if he was able to go to a Cleveland team that lost in the first round and get them to an NBA championship?
That's the only move out there that can affect his legacy, either going up or either declining in some way. The Cleveland job, because now we'll be back into storytelling again. You'll be back into storytelling again. So it will be such a huge accomplishment for him to go back to Cleveland. Not only go back to Cleveland, but to go back to Cleveland and win. I think that gap with him and Jordan would definitely shorten up a lot, man. And I got Jordan. Jordan is always my all-time great. And then I have Kareem, and then I have LeBron. That's me. That's my 3 right there. You cannot deny six MVPs, man, 4 MVP finals. You can't deny Kareem, man. But he, Jordan, had the ball in his hand, 99% of the time, and someone had to give Kareem the ball. Kareem was already a star in the league. I don't know if he had reached Hall of Fame status prior to Magic coming, because he did win a championship in Milwaukee with an aging Oscar Robertson. They did win a championship in Milwaukee. Kareem did. But coming out of there in the trading thing, he wasn't. He didn't win anymore until Magic came. He didn't win anymore. And so with Kareem, having the accolades and the championships, man, and the most unstoppable move in professional sports, the sky hook. I want to ask you something. Do you remember the player that blocked that sky hook?
Bill Willoughby.
You goddamn right. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Boy, look, I love you, man. I love my brother, man. My brother. Hey, man, Bill Willoughby.
Bill Willoughby, bro.
Was a high school.
If you don't know Bill Willoughby, Cat, go look.
Google him. Google him. He come out of high school. He was out of high school. He didn't play. He came straight out of high school. And he went up in game 3 of a 3-game mini series against the Los Angeles Lakers in 1981. A 4-42 team. And he blocked the sky hook. If you think we're lying, go Google him up and look at it. Pull it up. Bill Willoughby, only one I ever seen. Bill Willoughby, man. Shout out to you, bro, for knowing your history here with me, man. Well, it sent goosebumps down me when you said it. I felt like you were about to come through the screen on me. Bill Willoughby. Bill Willoughby blocked the sky hook.
Yes, sir.
He's the only one I ever seen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, that's why I always have, Kareem at number 2, because he did a lot, man, and not have the ball in his hands. Someone had to give him the ball, man. But again, to put a bow on this LeBron going back to Cleveland, he would have to win. Going back to Cleveland and not winning is not going to move the needle with me as far as him being recognized as the greatest of all time, because he's not. He has to win. For that, he had to finish. He had to start that story and finish it very quickly. for the needle to be moved on him, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, you wanted to get into a little NFL, and I know next Sunday there's no NBA next Sunday, so we can definitely dive. Hell, the series may be over by next Sunday or close to it. So we can definitely dive head on, and I got a lot of Will Levis I want to get into next Sunday.
Yes, absolutely.
But mandatory camp going on right now. Still not, it's just kind of shorts and shimmies and whatnot as far as what's going on across the NFL. Anything in particular that has caught your eye over the last 7 days?
There is, when it became mandatory minicamp, not you being fined. Voluntary, I don't care, but mandatory. And probably the ones that we, that did not show up, we was kind of expecting those guys not to show up, to T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, for that matter. I don't think Dallas is due. I think they do up this week for their mandatory. This off season, Ken has been like we walking on eggshells, bro. Because we looking and waiting on that next big move, and now we're at a slow progress. But right now, I'm eyeing the Pittsburgh Steelers and see what happens with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, because it's going to determine how some teams, not only for the upcoming 2024 season, but how some teams will be set for the 2025 season. Justin Fields he's still under 25 years old. He still can be taught the quarterback position. And I think he just needs to be someplace with somebody that believe in him and give him the keys. I mean, the Bears gave him the keys, but they didn't give him any help. That was a catastrophe. I'm so insulted right now that all that they are doing and giving Caleb Williams down there in Chicago, and word is out there that he's not having a great mini camp. He's struggling, which is probably was expected and due. But it just insults me, man, that he they gave him all that to be successful, and yet they couldn't give Justin Fields that type of supporting cast, So other than that, man, I'm looking, I'm waiting, man. There's some high speculations, man. I saw an interview today where they was picking the NFC East, and they had the Philadelphia Eagles winning that division at 12-5. And strangely, which I predicted too, they had the Dallas Cowboys finishing at 9-8. And that's kind of like where I have them at too. They had the New York Giants at 7-8. I didn't agree with that. And they had the Commanders at 4-13. I don't believe that. I think that should be reversed. I think the Commanders can finish 8-9. I really do. I think the Commanders had enough talent, and then adding Jalen, the quarterback out of LSU, Jalen Daniels, adding him, man, I really think it helped. It helped them. I'm not sure. I've never been sold on Cliff Kingsbury. I've never been sold on Cliff Kingsbury, and I always wonder why he keep getting these great jobs and these great opportunities when his ass ain't won nowhere. Why? Why is Cliff Kingsbury getting these opportunities, man? Head coaching job. At Texas Tech, he didn't even finish. He was under 500. Am I right? We have to look it up. And he gets a head coaching job. He gets fired. He goes to USC, if I'm not mistaken. He was offensive coordinator under Lincoln Riley. Am I right?
Not sure.
Yeah, that was the reason why the Caleb Williams to Washington thing was big, because that was his former offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So, and then he lands in Washington, and you still got Eric Bieniemy, and maybe the word will come out eventually and give us the reason why Eric Bieniemy hasn't had a head coaching job in the NFL, man. I'd like to hear your point on that. But again, Cliff Kingsbury he's getting a lot of opportunities, bro. And me and you, me personally, I don't think he was worthy of these opportunities, man. But again, that's the NFL. Am I right?
Oh, in a nutshell.
So,
we know what it is with the NFL, man. It's about who you know.
Yes.
It ain't about what you know. It's about who you know, and it's all about relationships, like it is, in a lot of other Fortune 500 businesses, but even more so in the NFL. It's about who you know and what you look like, how you sound, all that good stuff. Football sometimes is secondary.
Yes.
Football is sometimes secondary.
So, what is the knock on Eric Bieniemy? To you.
I don't understand it. I've never understood it. Never understood it.
Now, there were words that, again, like you say, is not really, most of the lot of hires are not even football based. It's more like who you know, like you say. But it has been reported that, his interviews are not the greatest, But again, that's neither here nor there. You have to look at the job that he did last year in Washington with Sam Howell. They wouldn't lack of scoring. They could score. They had an erratic quarterback in Sam Howell, but they had weapons out there on that field and being able to move that football, Ken. But yet, he didn't even get interviewed by the Washington Commanders for the head coaching job.
No.
So,
my opinion, he should have stayed in Kansas City till he got a head coaching job.
Yeah, but everybody on
that
was
just my opinion.
But everybody on that staff that had the opportunity, man.
I got you. I know it.
Nagel, really? Doug Peterson, right? Really? Now, my perception of him leaving. Why would you leave Kansas City? Why would you leave to go take another job doing the same thing you're already doing?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have made a lateral move.
That didn't make sense there. That didn't make any sense there.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have done that. Especially not going to Washington. We talk about dysfunctional organizations. The Lakers, the Cavs, the Commanders. Dysfunctional organizations. We used to put the Texans in that category. Can't do that anymore. But going to dysfunctional organizations, you set yourself up for failure. There's a much higher probability of you failing than you succeeding when you go to a bad organization.
Absolutely.
If you have a choice in the matter, which he had a choice, he could have stayed in Kansas City. Hey, let me ride one more year. Something don't happen. All right. I think he's in college now, right?
I think he's in college. I was fit to ask you. I think he's in college.
Yeah.
But
I think he's in college as an OC somewhere.
I really truly believe he was ran out of Kansas City. I believe his coaching style rubbed the players wrong in Kansas City. You had Shady McCoy going public on him, roasting him, being on him, and what type of guy he was. But I think he may have wore his welcome out because it's interesting. All those guys that left Kansas City and went on to try other things, and even became head coaches, when it failed, they all came back to Kansas City. Am I right?
He's a offensive coordinator with UCLA.
Yeah. So I don't even believe that he would even. It'll be tough for me to see Airbnb with any type of coaching job in the NFL from this point on.
Yeah, probably not. No,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, I think he's I think he's was welcome out in the NFL. We got
It's just
another
like
guy.
just like Brian Flores.
But I was just look here, man. That's why I love you, boy. I was just fit to say his name too. I said the guy in Minnesota, defense coordinator. I think this is his last job because well with Flores is management. He was management wrong with Flores, but the enemy is more the players, But Brian Flores rubbed management very. He rubbed them. Let's give him his credit though. He turned a bad Minnesota defense into a pretty good defense, a respectable defense. So he know what he's doing. His coaching is great. He know what he's doing on the defense side of football. I don't think that no team will ever give him authority or power again in the NFL. He would not. I don't think he'll ever be a head coach again. I think that has passed him by. Just based on his past. So again, if we looking at the NFL now, Ken, we seeing a lot of new coaches, man, guys that we wonder how they got the job. You guys, have Callahan, first time head coach, younger guy. So it's obvious the league understand that they got to get younger, even in coaching and management. They got to get younger, man.
Oh, you said a lot of young GMs now.
Yeah.
A lot of young brothers is general manager.
Yeah. So
I mean,
they understand it
now. That's the trend now is the young African American general manager.
Yeah. So
you would have never thought you'd see that.
So listen, them old billionaires, zillionaires, they understand, where and how this machine got to keep going. And that's why I made the statement. I stand stern on that. Bill Belichick won't have a head coach job in the NFL again. I stand stern on that. Would I say 100%? Of course not, because always that 1%. Always somebody desperate out there that'll make a move. It's always franchise like that. But if you asking me 99.9999999, yeah, I would ride that out. That Belichick won't have a head coaching job in the NFL again.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely dive head into the divisions beginning next week, and we'll definitely dive head on into the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis and his projections, his comparisons to other quarterbacks in his class, other quarterbacks before him, and just kind of see where he projects out. So we'll wrap up the show with the week in the WNBA. Of course, last week, you had the whole Monty McNutt, Stephen A. Smith fiasco on ESPN. You had that going on. So this week, of course, Caitlin Clark, she was left off of the Olympic team. She will not be one of the 12 members on the Olympic team. So there was, it didn't blow up, but there was some media outlets, particularly on social media, that tried to put some headlines out about her being snubbed off the Olympic team. And they may not get as many viewers now for the women's basketball games because Caitlin is not on the team. Your thoughts on the week in the NBA, and particularly on the Caitlin Clark being left off of the Olympic team?
I mean, they're right about that they're going to lose eyes, because this girl right now, this young lady right now, is the machine that the WNBA has recognized, and she's drawing ratings and she's drawing numbers. So them leaving her off the USA Olympic team Sure, it may cost them a few sponsors and a few dollars here, but is she one of the 12 best, you know, professional women basketball players in the world right now? I don't think so. I really don't think so. She have had her moments this season, and this season has been very short. I think they played like 12, 13 games. I saw a stats from last night. She had a 30-piece last night against the Washington Mystic, who is another bad team in WNBA. But I don't have a problem with her being left off the. I don't have a problem with her being left off the Olympic team because I don't think she's one. I don't think she's one of the 12 best players in WNBA right now. I don't think she is. I think she's the top money drawer in the NBA in the WNBA right now, without a doubt. And what I mean by money draw is that she's drawing more eyes, and there's sponsors and there's things because of her in the league that has happened. And I'm okay with that. Most of the girls they are okay with that. But the problem with what I had with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp was you almost asking those girls to roll over and allow this girl to just come through and do what she want to do and not be competitive. That's what it sounds like to me. Like saying, "Hey man, let her go to the." Nah, I didn't. That was my part about it. Okay, she may be the golden goose. She may be the golden child. That don't mean the other players in the league should bow down to her and not compete at a high level against her. All the great ones had everyone giving them their best shot when they play against them. When Magic knew when he went into Utah anyway, he went that those guys was going to be giving him their best shot at dethroning him and beating them, and to show them that they're on the level or a higher level than he is. So that I never understood that and what he was saying. And right now, man, he's doing so much trying to clean that bad statement that he made, that they made. He's doing so much trying to clean it up. And now I see a little cockiness in Stephen A. And when he started talking about the topic, he's getting a little cocky about it, and even saying, not necessarily towards the WNBA game, but to Monica McNutt. He's getting personal. Every interview I've seen since that, he's saying the same thing. If it wasn't for him, these people that we're named would not be on First Take. So they're on First Take because of, they're getting the exposure and blah, 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 and all that there. And to some degree, he's right. But this ain't what this is about. This topic is about the media and individual with the platform to cover the WNBA. So they all have, and she right in so many ways. She said, you all jumped on the bandwagon now when you could have did this 2 or 3 years ago. So shout out to Monica again. I last night I had the opportunity to watch Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky play against Atlanta. Atlanta got to him, but I watched the whole game. It was fun. This draft class that the WNBA has brought huge viewership to the WNBA, and those girls are right. It's not because of Caitlin Clark. Yes, she may be the first name called, but Angel Reese and the rest of those girls are drafting that first round. They are all balling right now. Yeah. The young lady Brink that wrote the statement that's on a Sparks team, she's balling right now. They're balling along with the other veterans and like Brown and Stewart. They balling, man. They're playing ball. They got my attention. So shout out to WNBA. Y'all keep up the good works, and it's gonna get better, and that paycheck gonna get better for y'all, and you're gonna finally be at a level where you want to be, and that's recognizing one of the top sports in the world. So shout out for them. I'm glad this thing is gradually dying down. I wish Stephen A. Smith would get out of his damn feelings and let it go. You was put on the spot. She was very professional about it. But I don't know if her next contract gonna get renewed if she keep on going on Club Shay and everything. You know,
hey man, Monica's everywhere, man. She
everywhere now, man.
For the Knicks.
She everywhere now, man. So she has that statement. You know what? That statement is kind of like what we had wished Caitlin Clark had did when the girl hip filed and knocked her down. If she'd have got up and just showed some emotion and said something, the WNBA will be off and running, and they will be on their way to where they're trying to get to as a national professional basketball league. They didn't get that from her. If she'd have gave them that, we wouldn't be talking about a lot of stuff we talk about, because they would have arrived now. So they still got some work to do, but I believe in them, and I think that they're gonna be successful. But shout out to this whole 2024 rookie class in the WNBA. They balling, man, and they got the league on fire right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, my brother. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. We definitely thank everybody for joining in to the Danger Zone for another Sunday night edition. We covered a lot of topics here tonight. So in case you joined the show late, you can definitely go back and rewatch it on our YouTube channel, Danger Zone Podcast. We touched on the WNBA, a little bit of the NFL, and then heavy dose of the NBA Finals, where the Boston Celtics take a commanding 2-0 lead against the Dallas Mavericks. We will be back with you next Sunday night. We'll go heavy NFL. We'll definitely touch on the NBA Finals and see where they are at that point. It could be over. Next game on Wednesday. Of course, if anything breaks, during the week, we will hop on midweek for you guys. So for my partner, Floyd B., I am Ken Moore. We hope you guys have a great week. And thank you for tuning in to the Danger Zone. Good night, everybody.
See you when I see you.